Okay. Um, Anything underneath you, if you have blocks, those may be useful. And just start to settle in. Hands on the lap, on the legs. Where do you like to put them? Maybe one hand on the chest, one hand on the belly, just to monitor the breathing. There's all sorts of ways you can just kind of get in touch with yourself. So place those arms and hands and place them somewhere where you can not be distracted by them. And just take a nice slow inhale through the nose, sigh it out through the mouth. Eyes opened or closed, depending on your level of sleepy or awake right now. It doesn't matter. For some, it's just better to look down at the front edge of your mat, a spot where you don't have to be distracted. Notice what's going on in your body. Where are you holding tension? Are you clenching your jaw? Are you tight around your eyelids? How's the neck? Maybe give yourself a little drop of the head left and right, opening up the sides. You can circle your chin down and around. Going in both directions. And again, it's more so in the efforts of just getting a lay of the land this morning. This is your territory. This is the only thing that you can control today is yourself. So getting in touch with the physical sensations, the experience of being in this body. What do you hear? Is your fan going? Are there workers outside? Just taking in all the sounds. Do you have a house pet with you? Kiddo, maybe. A couple of kiddos. Knowing that the mind can easily be distracted. It's not your fault. It's not anything wrong with you. That's just the nature of the general mind. Easily distracted. But try to remind yourself and tell yourself that just while you're on your mat, you're going to do your best not to get distracted. If you do get distracted, just gently come back to your breath, back to my voice, back to the screen. Left hand on its knee, twist to the right knee. Right hand goes behind you. Just to wring out that spine a bit. Come back center. Go to the other side. Right hand on its knee, and feel the difference, that right hand on the knee and then right hand over to that left knee. And notice we may think that that's more advantageous to grip that left knee with the hand to pull you over, but that's actually taking it just slightly too far. That's overflowing the cup. We want to keep that right hand on that right knee. So it's a nice gentle nudge. You teeter on that line, but it's nothing too crazy. Come back center. On the next inhale, hands holding onto the knees, lift your chest, curl the tailbone, arch the spine like a cow. Tuck it all in, rounding out into the cat. Rock forward, tailbone scoops up, chin goes up. Exhale, tuck it all in, round. Doing this a few times. Going back and forth and just thinking about this, even if you're sitting at your desk later. These simple movements really help put the spine back into place in that right order for it, just to feel as comfortable as possible. This works with the spinal cord in a gentle way. These mechanics are primal, instinctive to the body. It's also a movement you can just get lost in, like folding laundry or vacuuming or doing dishes. And then sit tall, breathe. Arms are down, torso should be waking up, should be warming up. Bring those arms overhead, inhale. Right hand grabs the left wrist, exhale, lean over to the right a little bit just to make that line in the left side. Left hip down. Breathe between the ribs and the hip. Inhale, come back center, switch hands, tip over to the left. Keep breathing. And inhale, come back center. Exhale, bring those arms behind your back, and I'm going to turn around so you can see what I'm talking about. If you bring your arms behind your back, interlace those hands, bring those hands over on top of the right hip, okay? So those elbows are there. Imagine I'm putting a beach volleyball between those elbows so you can kind of try to squeeze it. And then maybe tip your head over to the left. And give yourself a little nod, forward, backwards. Now keep your hands over to the right. Inhale, come up. Tip your head over to the right and feel maybe how much more intense this is on the left side with that left arm going behind you. So you should feel now, if you nod your head forward, backwards, you should feel you're playing with that edge as it goes down that left shoulder, down the arm. Inhale, come back center. Bring those hands over to the left. Squeeze those elbows together. First, you feel it's much different now that that left arm isn't reaching. Now the right one is. Bring your head up, and when you're ready for that more intense opening, tip your head over to the left. And that right side releases and your head nods forward, backwards. And be patient with it. Come back center, release those arms, shake them out. And again, arms are overhead. This time, grab opposite elbows. Tip over to the right. Getting a little further into that left side. Inhale, come center. Tip to the other side. Open your right rib cage. And then inhale, come back center. Maybe lift your chin slightly away from the chest. Let those arms draw back just enough, and you should just feel this length all throughout the upper body. And then when you're ready, release. Those hands go forward, fold over your legs. They can stay as they are, or you can even lengthen your legs. Just to stretch out that low back. And then when you're ready, come on up to tabletop. I'm letting someone else in real quick. Tabletop. Hands under your shoulders, knees under the hips. Start to wag that tail side to side. Walk those hands, if you want, out in front. Drop your forehead so it's like a cat waking up from the nap. Paws go out in front, your forehead is down, your chest is dipping down, and you can just feel this nice release. And then inhale, come up. Walk your hands back. Take this right leg back. Float it off the floor. Rotate the ankle and the toes. Look down at that left knee. Maybe look at your hands and make sure you're as evenly distributed and you have a good solid base here in the hands and that knee. Take an inhale. Your gaze is forward. That foot goes back. Exhale. Draw that knee into your chest. Spine rounds. Tuck your chin. Inhale. Extend. Lengthen. Exhale. Bring it in. Inhale. Get long. Exhale. When this knee comes in, Flatten the back on the next breath so it's not an arch. Stretch your right leg back. Drop the ball of the foot down to the floor and push back. So now you feel that right leg lengthening. Ankle, calf, back of the knee. Shift your weight into the toes, into the heel. And then let that leg float up. Chin is out of the chest. Look slightly past your hands. Stay here or see if you can take that left arm forward and balance. Spine is lengthening, getting stronger. Soften the jaw. Be patient here. Drop your right knee down. Left hand is still forward. Take another breath. And then we're going to drop that left hand down, hips to heels. Slide that left hand back. Sweep it up high. Inhale. Exhale. Slide that hand down and back. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, come down. Last time. Inhale, hand stays high this time. Feel the twist. That left arm is reaching up. When you're ready, thread the needle. That left arm comes underneath the right. Drop the left shoulder, the temple to the floor. Maybe walk that right hand out in front, or right hand can just stay really close to the face. And just breathe, letting that bottom shoulder rest on the floor. Feeling that spine just get that opening, reversal of the blood flow. Don't clench the jaw. If you get distracted, come back to here when you notice. What's more important is that you notice that you were distracted, not that you were distracted at all. Right hand down, inhale, unravel, left arm goes high. Bring that left hand down. Slide this left hand directly out in front now because it was going across your chest. Right forearm folds in, drop your forehead. Walk that left hand all the way out in front, pull back with that left hip, and you should feel that whole left side expand. Take your breath purposefully into the shoulder socket. There's just a little extra space right now with those hips drawing back and with that left hand anchored down. Left hand slides back, right palm down. Take some cat-cows. Loosen up the back. Find something neutral, maybe feet together, knees wide, hips to heels, lower down into a child's pose, just to give your wrists and your arms a break for a moment. Your low back also gets the stretch. If your feet are feeling tight, curl those toes under and then hips to heels. And then when you're ready, come up to tabletop. Reset the knees. Looking out in front, let's take that left leg back now. Rotate the ankle and the toes, starting back at square one. Check your hands, notice if you need to adjust. Your wrists need to be okay, the knee, the shoulders. Breathe. On the next inhale, we're going to get a little longer. Maybe lift your chin, lift your gaze. Exhale, draw that knee into your chest. The spine will round. Inhale, extend, lengthen. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale, long. Try not to get too fast with this. Slow it down. Exhale, knee to chest. On the next breath in, that leg goes back, spine flattens. Drop the ball of the foot down, rock back. Feel that left calf open, shifting the weight in the toes. On the next inhale, we're going to rock forward just enough so that leg floats up. Take your gaze forward. If you trust yourself, right arm forward. Breathe. You know what to expect. You know nothing else is happening here. We're just trying to stabilize, letting the body find what works. Keep that right arm forward. On the next exhale, drop your left knee. Take another breath in. Exhale, drop the right hand and hips to heels. Slide that right hand back. And then on the inhale, you're going to sweep it up, circle it around. Exhale, hips back, drop the hand. Inhale, come up. One more time. Exhale, rock back. Inhale, reach that arm high. Pause. Thread the needle. Right arm over to the left. Drop the shoulder, drop the temple. Walk that left hand out in front maybe. Breathe. Right shoulder blade gets a release. How's your gaze, the jaw, the fingertips? Slide that left hand back. Press down. Unravel. Inhale, right hand gets to go high, opposite direction it was just in. And then right hand to the floor. Take it out in front. Left forearm folds in. Keep your hips high over the knees. Drop your forehead to that left arm. Walk your right hand forward. Flatten the palm and then gently pull back with that right hip. Decompressing that right side just enough. Make sure you're breathing. Right hand comes back. Press yourself up. Cat-cow. Taking a few rounds. You have child's pose. Or let's go on ahead and ease up and back into a down dog when you're ready. Allow those legs just to make way here. Pedal it out. Feel free to allow your legs to go up one at a time towards the ceiling. Rotating ankle and toes. And then breathing into the sides, adjust your hands. Full down dog. So like cat-cow, something that I personally love to do. From dog, if your wrist can handle it, come forward, dropping the hips, cobra. Your toes can stay curled under. You can even adjust them here so they grip better. And then hips up and back, down dog. Come forward, lower down, up and back. And then come forward, hips and knees down, lower down onto your belly enough to come to your forearms. We're just going to breathe for a few moments. Your gaze is low. Don't take your chin up. If you want, lift your feet up and your legs are just going to rock side to side here. And then drop the feet down. Let's lower our chest all the way to the floor. Stack your palms, rest your chin if that doesn't hurt your neck. So you can just look down in front of you just a couple of inches as if you're watching like a line of ants just march by. So your gaze is more focused on what's right in front of you. So as your upper body just rests here, let's let that right leg float up off the floor as best you can and just feel that back begin to work. Notice maybe, is this the same or is it different, more challenging than doing this in tabletop? We're saving the energy from holding ourselves up with the arms and the other leg. So now all of it can go right here to this work. Drop that right leg. Left leg, it gets a turn. Bring it up. Feel how that energy completely shifts from all of that heat, all of that work, that activation in the right leg. It's now over in the left side. Have patience here. Breathe. Lower the leg. Right leg comes up. Right leg down. Left leg up. Left leg down. Remove the hands, bring them out in front so it's like a Superman. All of this is meant to give a little more stability into that spine before we get up on our feet. Chin down. On the next inhale, lift the right leg and left arm. We did this in tabletop as well, but we're no longer in the table. Lower it all to the floor. Inhale, left leg, right arm up. Exhale down. Again, side one, right leg, chest, left arm. Exhale, lower. Inhale, left leg, right arm. Exhale, lower. Next inhale, everything. Can you bring it up? Ooh, it's heavy, it's rusty. Lower down. Slide those hands back in front of the shoulders. And again, inhale, lift the chest and the legs. Hands can hover over the floor, right underneath the shoulders. Does this feel better than extending those arms out in front? Stay lifted. Can you take the arms out to the sides? Maybe stretch those arms back if you're working in tight spaces. You're almost done. That child's pose is going to be so necessary. Bring those hands next to the chest. Drop the feet. Pull yourself all the way up, stretching out that back, that belly. Shimmy out in this Cobra. And then rock back, child's pose. Notice those sensations, even coming back onto forearms, walking those elbows really close to the knees and just dropping the gaze. Especially if you have a lot of pressure in your head with the change of weather. For me, with my migraines and when my sinuses act up, this is another way you can play it and still get what you need from the stretch for the low back. So spine is warm. That's what all we've been working on this whole time is the back. Because all of us feel that backache and pain daily. It's just the wear and tear of this body. Just like our cars, any other machinery that we work with. And on the next inhale, take in a deep breath as if you're aerating the whole spine. Notice how the breath can soothe. And then hands in front, pull up, tabletop, down dog. Step that right foot forward, drop that back knee, come on up into a low lunge, just to get with the hips a bit, and if you need to, pad that back knee. Now, very common here, and we're updating the library later this week with a ton of individual tutorials on the lunges, and I'm going to go on ahead and go through a little bit of that right now for those of you who are here, just so you can feel it and we're together with it. Be careful not to drop all the way forward as if you can do everything you can. It's not about that huge shape, because we can't let our hips just collapse into that and just have that unnecessary tension. So feel yourself, use that front leg, even hands on the hips, rock forward and backwards, and find a middle place where you still feel the stretch in this front hamstring and in the back hip flexor and quad, but not extreme in one or the other. There's a sweet balance there that you want to find, okay? So we're going to work on our balance a bit, and if you need to, the back toes can curl under. Let's let those arms come up. So not a huge back bend, okay? Just reaching up should be plenty, and it pulls some of that weight off the hips as well, instead of you dumping and collapsing into it, okay? So we're reaching up, we're feeling this out. Go slow as you start to lengthen that front leg. It's all about balance. Can you let those arms sweep back? And your torso is maybe parallel to the ground, maybe not even that far. Go easy. So there's a fine line here. Sweep up, sink into that lunge. Don't collapse all the way into it, but it's enough. And then easy does it as you push yourself back. Arms sweep back. You're bowing towards that front leg, and you're feeling that front leg lengthen. If you need to, hands to the floor. Do not worry about this arm movement if it's too much. I get it. First time I tried it, I just got really pissed off. I even fell over. Reach those arms up. One more time. We're going to rock back. Let those arms maybe sweep back. Maybe keep your chest here. Can your hands come to the floor or to your blocks? And bow into this front leg and just feel that nice, sweet stretch. If there's quivering, if it feels too much, if you can't breathe, you've gone too far. Stay low with those hands. As you walk them forward, curl the back toes under, lift that knee so you have a runner's lunge. Twist to the right. And then right hand comes down. Right leg goes back. 3-leg dog. Bend that knee. Your hips open to the right. That foot goes behind you to the left. Square off, drop the foot. Inhale, glide forward to plank. Let's lower the knees. Support yourself as you go all the way down. Not like a traditional flow, since this is more Hatha. Let the legs and chest lift, just like we did before. I promise you there is a method to my madness. Feel it all work. Take another breath. This is going to help with posture. This is going to help keep you stronger versus your back getting weaker every time you look down at those dang phones. Drop the feet. Keep pressing yourself all the way up. Cobra. Let the breath just wash down, opening the front side of the body. Think of how complimentary this is if you're seated for a long period of time in the car, on the plane, on your couch. Child's pose. Rock it all back. Flush out those hips. Feel that good stretch in the low back. And then when you're ready, come up to tabletop, down dog. Take that left leg up, breathe in, rotate the ankle, the toes. Feel that right side's getting a whole new stretch, even though it's been forward and we've been working on it anyways. Step that left foot forward, drop the back knee. We're coming up into a low lunge. So it's just enough as those hips are going forward past this drop knee that you start to feel that nice length, okay? We are not wanting to create an imbalance. We want to have both sides getting a good amount of love. Now breathe here. Settle in with that front foot, get nice and stable, and if you need to play with it, rock back, rock forward. It matters taking this time, doing it gently, easily. Now, we're going to play with this a couple of times, not to get you frustrated, but now you know what to expect. Those arms are going up, okay? Inhale. When you're ready, nice and easy, you're going to rock back. Front toes maybe lift up. You start to bow towards the floor, not all the way. Arms reach back, blocks at any time to hold you. We're going to come up, rock forward, arms up. Rock back, toes up, arms sweep back. Couple more. Make sure you're breathing, maybe exhaling through the mouth when you need to cool off. Now stay leaning forward as those arms are going back. Left leg is lengthening. Maybe hands to blocks or to the floor. Keep breathing. You're going to be okay. You get to dictate how intense this is. Don't forget. If it's too much, back off. It's fine. Stay low as you rock forward. Curling the back toes under, lift the knee. Lean into that right hand as you twist to the left, wringing it all out. Inhale, left hand down. Take that left leg back. Nice and high, bend that knee, your hips open to the left, the foot goes to the right. As much or as little as you want, it's just a suggestion. Square off, drop the foot. Come forward into your plank, get long. Knees drop, hold the rest of the plank just as it was. as you lower all the way to the floor. Inhale, legs and chest come up. Take another breath here. Feel the work. And then we'll press into our Cobra as those feet go down. Down dog. Walk your feet to the middle of the mat. Turn the toes out, hands back to the feet. Get a nice low squat as best you can. And if your blocks are nearby, you can hold on to those just for a little extra stability. And when you're ready, hands down, hips go up. Toes are turned forward. Can you take your feet as wide as your mat? Edges of your feet are running along those left and right edges. Okay, hands on blocks or hands on the floor. Take an inhale. Exhale, fold over those legs. Knees get to bend a bit. Notice if you have a belief that those knees should lock out. That's not always necessary. Just sometimes that puts too much strain on the joints. We just want to stretch out that low back, legs balancing out. Wag your tail side to side if you want. A block can go underneath that left hand. As that left hand goes forward, middle of the mat, turn to the right. Right hand can go to the hip. Maybe right hand reaching up if that's not too much for your shoulder. Inhale, right hand comes down, replaces the left on the floor or on the block. Twist to the left side, left arm up, or left hand on the hip. And then inhale, left hand comes down. Hands walk back, grab opposite elbows, sway side to side as you gently start to walk those feet, heel toe them in so they're right underneath the hips. Shake your head out. Now those feet are underneath the hips. Grab opposite elbows. If your head is dangling, arms are dangling, torso and arms are one. We kind of did something similar when we were seated. Start to bend those knees like you're downhill skiing. And as those knees bend, the arms and chest somewhat lift up to kind of go forward. You need to look at your screen. Look at your screen so you see what I'm talking about. This is something new. Hips go high as you drop your torso and your arms, your head. It all just dangles. Try to keep those hands holding on to the arms just for grip. Do it again. Hips drop as those knees bend. Arms are still framing your head. One more time, take a good fold. And as we bend the knees, we come up one more time. Free those hands from the opposite elbows. So now you feel like you're almost downhill skiing. Can you press to stand another quarter of the way up? Now we're in full chair. 2 more breaths. Inhale, press all the way up to stand. And then exhale, pull those hands down the middle. Keep them together, let them just drop at your sides. Head tips side to side. We're finally on our feet. Rotate those hips. Legs can go a little wider, just your stance can give you some room here. Now, getting to the top of the mat, allow those feet to come underneath the hips. We're setting up our train tracks. We have a left and right side. In our warrior series today, our feet want to stay on their tracks if possible, okay? It will change. We have habits in the body, but when I say tracks, this is what I'm referring to. So whether the feet are side by side or if they're going to be separated a bit, 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, they're still technically going to have this type of distance between them, respectively. On the next inhale, arms go up. Sit down into your chair. Let those hands interlace so those arms are long. You can kind of rock a little side to side in the feet, in the knees, toes, heels. Just getting confidently comfortable here. You know your weight is where it needs to be. It's evenly distributed. Can you carefully shift your weight into that right foot and let that left foot come up? Can you drop that left foot down? Other side. We did something similar on Saturday's class. Keep breathing. Drop the foot. We're going to go back to side one. Pick up that left foot. Step it back and drop it down so those toes turn out a bit. And as you tip up, it's a simple warrior. Arms are overhead. Breathe. Bring those hands to the hips. Lengthen that front leg. Lean forward as your chest turns to the left. Maybe right hand slides down to the knee. Left arm can go up. It's just enough to lengthen that inner right leg. And then bend that front knee as you return to a simple warrior. This time those hands are just in front of the chest. Step forward with that left foot. Back to your chair. Hands are at prayer. Twist to the right. Left elbow to that right knee. Breathe. Inhale, unravel. Arms come next to the ears. Hands interlace. Breathe. Right foot up. When you're ready, right foot gets to go back. Toes turn out, come up into that nice simple warrior. Stretching out that back ankle, charging up the front leg. Bring those hands to the hips. Inhale, lengthen the front leg as you tip forward. Left hand resting on the knee. Turn your chest to the side. Maybe right arm goes up or right hand on the hip. It's just a nice triangle. And then nice and easy, come up, bending that front knee, hands together as you find your simple warrior again. Not overreaching it, saving the energy in the arms. Step forward, find your chair, twist to the left now, right elbow to that knee. Inhale, release. Arms are long, full chair pose. Press to stand, arms reach high. Exhale, center. Find a spot in front of you, keeping it simple for our tree pose. Left foot comes up. Right foot is grounded. Just like trees, the roots go down into the earth, and then the branches are reaching in the opposite direction towards the sun, towards the energy, towards the nourishment. Stabilize in the same way. Your foot is grounding down, lifting with every breath, ribs off the hips, maybe extending those arms as if welcoming any birds nearby to come and find rest in your branches. When trees sway, they always do. That's how they get stronger. Let it happen. And if you fall out of it ever so often, that's just fine. It's just tree pose. It's just yoga. Let's sit down, chair. Arms are extending now, long, recharging both legs. Press to stand. And you're going to bring that right foot up. Tree pose on side two. Notice if you are peaceful in your tree. Notice if your mind doesn't have to work as much. Ribs stay off the hips, crown going towards the sun, towards the sky. Feel that shift in the body, a little more stable, a little more present. The moment your mind drifts off, you begin to collapse. That's a good tell sign of where the mind is. Extend those arms, sit down, chair pose. Exhale, we're going to bow down, hips go high. Inhale, lift your heart, hands to the floor, step back into your plank. Inhale, get long, feet line up behind the hands. Exhale, lower. Inhale, just your chest. Cobra, hips stay down. Child's pose or down dog. Take 5 breaths. Feeling your back is waking up. Maybe in your down dog, you wag your tail side to side. That's going to give you a little bit more room to play with those edges that may still feel tight from last night's sleep. Top of the mat, 1 big step. Bend the knees. We're going to come up into our chair. Whatever you want to do with those arms. Press to stand. Inhale. Exhale, center. Inhale, again, arms up. Simple sun A. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, lift the heart, hands to the floor, step on back into a plank, get long, breathe. Take as many breaths as you want to here, especially if you don't care to vinyasa. Exhale when you're ready, lower down. The next inhale will lift your chest to cobra. Exhale, down dog. Top of the mat, 1 big step. Chair pose. Press to stand. Exhale, center. Take 3 breaths. One more round. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. No chair. Inhale, lift the heart. Step on back to your plank. Get long. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift the chest. Shimmy this one out. And then rock back. Child's pose or dog. And if you do need another round or 2 of just what we just did, go ahead, keep on moving for a moment. This is all just with the idea of, technically we do this towards the beginning of class, but getting towards the end. And since it's first thing in the morning, I want to kind of propel you with some good vibes moving forward for your day, leave you with some wakefulness. Or maybe you just need to sit up and tap into your breath. Soften the jaw, the eyes, whatever you're doing, stay here. When you're ready, we're going to come down onto our seat. Starting out, feet halfway out in front, lean forward and down, rocking side to side. Loosening up the hips, the low back, noticing if there's anything else that needs some attention. Reach for it. Do what you got to do. And then inhale. We can sit up and relax for a moment. Lean back on those hands. Bring those feet flat. We're going to take this right leg and cross it over the left knee. Okay? And you can walk your hands a little closer to your seat. So now you're going to get nice and tall and a little longer. And the closer your chest comes to this leg, the more you're going to feel it in this outer hip. Okay? And you can rock side to side here. If it feels too tight, too much, back off. Notice what that does. That may gives you a little bit more room. You can also adjust this left foot, the hips even, okay? Now, that left foot is forward. You should be able to observe that. And the left foot's on its side of the body, if that makes sense. So we aren't bringing it all the way over to the right or even in the middle. We want it on its left side, yeah? Walk your hands back a little bit away from your hips. Fingertips can turn out. On the next inhale, can you lift your hips and maintain this order of your legs? Maybe you look up. I wouldn't recommend dropping that head back. That's just a ton of pull. It's unnecessary. Slowly come down. Walk your hands a little closer See what this does. It gives you some love into the hip. And then we're going to take this left foot now, sweep it over to the right and lay it down so that right foot conveniently comes to the floor. So if you feel that, we're just moving the legs as one unit. So we're here. Left hand holding on to that left knee, not the elbow, the hand. Twist to the right. You can only go so far. On the next inhale, unravel and twist to the other side. Right arm now on the inside of that right leg as you twist to the left. Inhale, come back center. Free this right leg up. Can you grab it at the back of the calf or the ankle and interlace those hands? Left leg can kind of adjust a bit here. Maybe you rock a little side to side. The right knee is bent a little bit. It doesn't need to lock out. You miss a stretch if you lock it out all the way. Maybe those hands move up to the edges of the feet, of the foot. You can bend the elbows, draw that leg in a little closer, and then you back off. Bring it in a little bit more. And back off. Last time. Totally different perspective here. This leg up. And then relax it as it comes all the way out in front. Now, can you lean forward towards it? And notice how the shift kind of starts to happen and you feel more of the stretch in that low back. Inhale, you can come up. Exhale, fold down. Now, because we're in this fold, feel this whole front side of your body. It's compressed right now, yeah? It's folding in. The back side of the body is breathing. Inhale, sit up. I think we did this last week, maybe the week before. Scoot your body over to the right just a bit so that left knee and shin is down. Left hand is back. Lift your hips up, turning to the left, right arm next to the ear, right toes are out in front, and you feel your whole body open. Feel free to circle that arm around a couple of times, massaging that joint. And again, it should be a gentle, loving, welcomed massage. If you know better, don't do it. And then slowly we're lowering ourselves back down, turning forward, lean back on the hands, readjust, left ankle over the right knee. Adjust those hands and go side to side. Breathe. Loosening up the hip. Take your time. Adjusting those hands, chest to the leg a little closer, maybe not as close. When you're ready, that right foot, check it. It's on the side of the body. Hips come up. Look up. Breathe. And then slowly lower yourself down. We're going to move this right foot over to the left, bringing that left foot down to the floor. Right hand to the knee. Twist to the left. Breathe. Inhale, come center. Left arm on the inside of the leg as you twist to the right. Inhale, come back center. Free this leg up. Right leg can kind of relax a bit. As you stretch this left leg forward, grab the back of it, the calf, the ankle, the foot. Notice how this side feels. You can bring the leg in a little closer and then back off. A little closer. Breathe. And then when you are ready, we slowly start to let this left leg lower down. Why don't you go on ahead and scoot yourself over to that left side of the mat without leaving the mat. Lean forward here. Inhale, sit up. Turn to your right, right hand reaches back. Lift your hips, you're rolling onto that right shin bone. Let that left arm reach overhead. Hips are lifting, side is opening. Maybe arm circles if you want to do that again. See what's available, what's needed. And then when you're ready, we're slowly going to lower down. Turning back forward. Legs, feet together, knees wide like we did to start. Or your legs can both go out in front. And just take a nice forward fold. Rocking side to side. Loosening up the hips. And then when you're ready, we're slowly going to inhale, sit up. Support yourself as you start to lay back. Knees hugging into the chest and just begin to roll side to side freely. All the pressure and attention is in that low spine, around the sacrum, on the back side of the hips. Use the floor to help you out here. And then bring those feet down, hip width apart, train tracks, maybe a little wider than your train tracks. Arms are at your sides. Inhale, curl tailbone up, lift your hips, feet press down, feel everything open, expand. Gently bring your hips back to the floor. Try with those arms next to the ears, reaching back. Again, hips up. Spine comes off the floor. Toes are pressing down. Breathe. And then slowly lower. Either one, arms at your sides or arms next to the ears. Third time, coming on up. Bridge pose. Maybe shimmy those shoulders side to side. Those hands can press into the floor underneath your body. So this is a big, expansive space. And then exhale. Release, we're lowering down. Give yourself a hug. Arms going across your chest. Your hands are reaching for their opposite shoulder blades. Maybe curl yourself up a bit, chin to chest, and you feel that upper spine just really take shape. And then inhale, your head drops back. Release those arms out to the sides. Allow those feet to go as wide as your mat with those knees knocking in the middle. Head can roll a little side to side, eyes opened or closed. What's important is you just try to allow this moment to last as long as possible. Relax the jaw, the muscles in the face, the fingertips. If you need to do anything else with the legs, maybe just let them lengthen out. Full Shavasana, legs long, arms out to the sides. The idea is there's no kinks in the body and the blood flow and the circulation with all the veins, all the nerves, all the intricacies. Laying here in corpse pose, legs long, torso long, arms long. Everything is able to flow freely. And after all of our movement, you need a neutral place for just a few moments. To honor and to respect what all these postures, what all the breathing has done for your body, for your state of mind. Take in the silence. Let the silence welcome you into this moment. Breathe. Feel this moment between the past and the future. I read this somewhere. It says life is cyclical, full of highs that swing down to the lows, only to climb back up with a grocery bag full of lessons. Ideally, we take these lessons and turn them into delicious offerings towards our growth and any others willing and open to learn from them. You ultimately can't control where you are in the cycle, but you can take the time to make the effort to enjoy the ride, to understand what's coming, will be going, to understanding that the lessons are limitless, since we are creatures who consistently do things differently. We are creatures that are not perfect, which guarantees there will always be change. My daughter the other day was helping me lecture my son on how things aren't permanent. And she says, yeah, of course they aren't permanent. How else will we get older? She's 7. And as our human bodies age, every day is another day. Today is the oldest we've ever been and the youngest we will ever be moving forward. Take another breath. Throughout today, this week, pay calm, close attention to the breath as a way of centering, as a way of grounding, and as a way of getting out of your head. Stay in your Shavasana, or you can roll to one side. You can start to sit up. Whatever you choose to do, start to bring one hand on the chest, one hand on the belly. Trying to connect with the breath with both hands. Allowing the whole body to breathe. You have recalibrated yourself for a new day. Hopefully, you feel more like yourself now than you did an hour ago. The defenses are down. Hopefully, some of the walls have come down so we can get to that nice ooey gooey center of love, of light, of compassion, of grace, of mercy. As I was telling one of my football players yesterday, who's struggling with his own anxiety and stress, as we all are. It's not anyone's fault that our minds do this. But as soon as we can start to see it and relate to it, we can start to calm it down. The heart practices, the ooey gooey center is not logical. It doesn't have to make sense, but know that it is natural. It's what we were intended to be conduits for, that type of energy, that type of electricity, that type of human connection. And it's in those actions, in those ways, that miracles are born. I hope you got what you needed through this practice. Be good people, do good things. Namaste.